Hello, and welcome to the video. Today, I wanted to try something that was extremely new for me. One of my last videos, I painted Captain America, and I used like a slashing technique, and it really gave him like a cool comic book kind of look to him, and a lot of people seemed to enjoy that video, so I thought maybe I should try painting up a miniature with an old comic book style and just go really hardcore with it, and just really try to mimic how the old comic books looked. So I have this Iron Man miniature from Marvel Crisis Protocol, and I thought that he would be a good candidate for it. I looked at some reference pictures from his old original comics, and I was trying to get an idea of how to paint this. It looks like for the most part that they just used solid colors without highlights or shadows in them, and then they just kind of used the black ink to put lines and definition into the characters. So I didn't think it would be too bad to give this a shot. Now, I've never really painted a miniature this way, but as I've said previously, I've been having a lot of fun just trying different techniques on it and such, and I'm not really sure that I succeeded with this one. But I wanted to be honest with my viewers, and not all of my painting techniques and not all of my miniatures are going to come out looking great. So I thought it would be nice to show you all that, I tried this technique and I don't really think I was too satisfied with the results on it. So I hope that you're going to stick around. Let me know in the comments as you're watching this, maybe things I could have done differently or where my big mistakes were. I think I just got the lining down wrong, or maybe a 3D miniature like this just isn't made to do this technique on. But as I said, I think it's interesting and I have fun just trying these different techniques out, and it gives me a great excuse to get these miniatures painted up. So after priming him white, you can see me adding just a little bit of light gray to the shadowed areas, as I was hoping to create just a little tiny bit of shadow on him, nothing major. As I said, I want to keep this pretty close to a comic book style. And I thought it would be really good to just use the speed paints, because these speed paints are fantastic for just putting down one solid coat on them. They cover up really nicely, and they actually add a little bit of shading and highlight all on their own. So I highly recommend these, especially if you're trying to paint miniatures quickly, or if you're not too comfortable trying to do highlighting and blending and such. Speed paints are definitely the way to go, especially if you're trying to paint miniatures quickly, or if you're not too comfortable trying to do highlighting and blending and such. Speed paints are definitely the way to go. Now, of course, with speed paints, you have to be careful when using them. Don't work them too much because it will actually rub off. So you want to put down a single coat, let it dry, come back if you need to fix any little spots that you might have missed, but don't keep working at it. It'll really ruin it, and it's a lot harder to fix in that way. As you can see here, I'm trying to be careful not to go into the white too much, but if you do, it's no big deal. You can come back and fix it. It's just this dark red is really challenging to cover back up with the white, so it's well worth it to take your time. Once I'm done with the red, I come back in with this Ancient Honey color from Speed Paints, and I have to tell you that for a yellow, it covers up extremely well. I really like using these speed paints for yellows. Yellow is such a pain for me to paint as it is, but with these speed paints, usually one coat will put a very nice dark base of yellow down for you. And these speed paints make it really easy just to get your base coats down, and they look fantastic. I mean, you can stop here and the miniature would look great for the tabletop. In fact, I almost wish that I would have stopped here. I think that he would have looked better than he does at the end of it after I added the black lining. But again, let me know what you think. Now, to finish off his power core and his eyes, I just used the lightest blue speed paint that I had. And I'm going very light here. I want it to be almost translucent to show off the glow that he usually has. Just putting down a light single layer on all of these parts. And now I'm going to start the black panel lines. And I am anything but a comic book artist. So I'm just using the reference pictures to go off of and trying to do the best that I can. I know that there's definitely a technique to this when the artists are drawing the comic books. So I'm just trying my best here to imitate what I can using the miniature. I tried to use the black panel lines mostly where I thought either the light would shine. As it shows in the comic book images, it almost looks like they use these lines where the light would reflect instead of using a white color. I tried to imagine where the light would hit and put a line of black there. I also tried to put them into the shadows where I could, and also just, it seems like kind of random where they would put lines. So I did that as well, and I just tried to add them here and there, mostly where the panels of his armor were separated. And as I said, I'm not sure if I went too far with them or maybe not enough, but as it went on, I wasn't really happy with it. And at some point I may end up going back and fixing this miniature. But then again, I mean, it just makes him kind of unique. It doesn't make him unusable by any means. I think it's important to show you that I just try these techniques. I'm not looking to win an award with it. Some are gonna work and some are not gonna work. And I really feel like this one didn't work. And you know, if you know what I did wrong or how I could improve this, feel free to drop it in the comments. I'm interested to hear on what's missing from here. Because at the end of this, whenever I look back on him all completely done, the lines just kind of made him look messy. And had I to do it over again, or I should say, if I was doing this just to paint this miniature, I could have almost stopped right after the speed paints, and I think he would have looked great. He would have looked fine for tabletop quality. But again, you know, I just wanted to try this technique and see how it would work out. But I'm not exactly sure that this is, that I did it correctly. I think that there's definitely something was missing, or maybe I just don't know what I'm doing with this one. But hey, it's all in fun. Without trying, trying these different techniques, it really helps prevent burnout. And it's just kind of fun to see how they come out in the end. As I said previously a couple of times now, some are going to look great, some not so great. But at the end of the day, it's just paint. If it bothers me that much, I'll strip him down and repaint him someday. But I thought it would be interesting just to see how this turned out. Now for his blast off effect, I'm just using this yellow, orange, and red speed paints. They do a great job on this because they're so vibrant, and also because they blend together so easily. In my opinion, for quick flame effects, they actually work really well. I think that they're a little easier to use than just straight up acrylic paints. So here he is all finished. As I said, I'm not really sold on this technique. I'm not exactly certain that I did it correctly. He looks okay, but I'm not really sure that I'm liking just the black lines all over him. I'm sure if I knew more about how comic book artists think whenever they're drawing the characters, maybe I could have done a better job on it. But it was pretty difficult just using some reference pictures and then trying to apply that to a miniature. Maybe I'll come back someday if I get some more experience with it and try it again. But I'm kind of thinking maybe next time of trying something of giving them an anime type look, painting up a miniature with that sort of tone to them. I think that might be kind of cool to try. And here he is, up against some of the other miniatures that I've painted with the Captain America, the Lizard, and Bob in the background. And as you can see, I mean, he looks fine from a distance on the tabletop. He'll work out just fine. I'm not sure that I'll use this technique again on other miniatures, but I just wanted to share this with you to show you that sometimes it's okay if the miniatures don't come out right, and it's just fun to experiment with them. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that you had a little bit of fun watching it, and maybe this inspires you to try a new technique on something and add a little bit of spice to your miniature painting. So with that, I want to say thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.